Welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Time for BL. This is the podcast that reviews movies, TV shows, novels, and comics, all in the boys love genre. On this episode, we're going to be talking about a German movie called Jungens, or The Boys. It follows a teenager named Seeger who is 15 years old, and he's on the track team, and basically it's just a coming of age story for this character. I actually really enjoyed the movie because I thought it was very youthful and cute and bubbly. It had a little drama here and there that was mostly created by the main character himself. It is definitely a movie that teens can watch and relate to, not only because of the boys love storyline. It's not really the boys love storyline that I would say is the main focus that they can relate to, but just the idea of being this teenager who is trying to find a way to fit in or stay fitted in, or worried about what people might think of you. So Seeger lives with his father and his older brother Eddie. It's kind of clear that his mother is no longer of the earth, and he, just like his older brother, is on a track team, not on the track team, but on a track team. He is like doing basically what his brother never finished doing. His brother left the track team. His brother now works at like a lumber yard. He doesn't even work. He's mostly just hanging out at the lumberyard. His dad kind of sees the brother as, well, not necessarily a failure, but he could do better with his life. He's just not doing it. It's obvious how like Eddie is treated like a child. I'm not sure how old Eddie is now that I think about it. I'm thinking he's like 20. But the dad is getting calls from his son's boss as to what his son is doing at work, things like that. It's so there's a lot of friction between the dad and Eddie, and Seeger's kind of in between this, because of course he and his brother are, they're brothers, they grew up together, they're close in that aspect, and of course Seeger is trying to also be this good son to his father, and they have a good relationship as well. It's obvious how much the father cares for Seeger. I would say one of the things with this movie, it doesn't necessarily show homophobia. It's more like it's just all in Seeger's head, thinking about what people will think about him, what his father will think about him, what his brother will think about him, how he will be viewed, and how his best friend might view him, even though his best friend obviously suspects something is going on. So we have Seeger, who's starting to spend a lot of time with Mark, who he is on like a different end of that. Mark seems like if he's very like the first time we see them interact, they're on the field running, and Seeger's like training, just jogging, and Mark is running backwards. Like, it's shown that he's kind of seen as crazy because he's very free-spirited and he just does what he wants, and it's kind of obvious that that's kind of part of the appeal of Mark. Like, Mark has the ability to just live his life, and Seeger likes that. We also see it with Mark's parents. Mark talks about the fact that his parents only just got married. They have 2 children. His little sister is 7, but his parents only just got married, and they almost missed the wedding because his sister wanted to dress as a fairy or princess. I can't even remember. I did not write that down. But like, yeah, it's just how free spirit his family is. He just brings a friend over, they have ice cream and go jump on a trampoline, and it's all good. And there is definitely a little jealousy there with Seeger towards Mark, because Mark gets to be free, but there's also this attraction from Seeger towards Mark because it's just obvious that they really like each other. They share a moment at the river. So Seeger and Mark share their first kiss at the river. There you go. It's probably in the trailers. And right afterwards, Seeger is like, I am not gay. But it's something that comes up often, the fact that he's really attracted to Mark, and every time he sees Mark and how he wants to spend time with Mark. But then he's also worried about how people view him. So of course he gets a girlfriend, because what else do? You get a girlfriend. But like I say, again, it's not even like the people around him are homophobic towards him. It's mostly just in his head, and we really get to see how he's internalizing situations that don't need to be internalized. Like, really. And eventually we see that his best friend, like I said, his best friend knows. His best friend, like, can tell something is going on, especially when they go away to camp, and all of a sudden in the middle of the night, Mark and Seeger disappear together. Like, it's becoming obvious to his best friend, okay, there's something else here. And Seeger actually isn't the only point of the story. I did talk about Eddie and his father having this, like, really rough relationship, and we see that with Eddie acting out like a teenager. That's why I'm like, I think he's like 20. He's acting out like a teenager. He's doing things you expect to see a teen who feels misunderstood by the world to do. Maybe he's 18. I don't know. And the dad is just very forgiving of him over and over again, but he doesn't notice his dad being forgiving of his attitude and forgiving of his behaviors. He only notices his dad just doing, like taking away his bike, or like an argument they have. Like, that's all he focuses on in that moment. But at the same time, you definitely see that Seeger and Eddie definitely love their dad when they go to spend time with him on, was it Father's Day? Why did I not write those parts down? My notes just talk about the pressures and stuff like that. I did not write down it was Father's Day. The name of the girlfriend was, because honestly I kind of forgot her name like right after she said it. I was like, yeah, you won't last. I think the dog was Sam. But yeah, you see them kind of joking around. They just gave their dad breakfast in bed and they're his present, and then Eddie and the dad are just joking around right afterwards. They're messing around because at the end of the day, all three of them love each other, and at the end of the day, all three of them really only have each other. What I love is the growth of Seeger. In the end, he realizes he is the person holding himself back. And you also see that with the whole situation with Mark, where Mark shows up at the fair and kind of wants to hang out with him, wants to talk to him and stuff, and he could have played that so many ways, but instead he just is so scared that Mark might say something, or somebody might notice, and he just blows Mark off. Well, they didn't make plans there. And then there was the time they actually did make plans to meet up, and Eddie did what Eddie does. Be destructive. And it was the same thing. Like, he is so scared, but he's scared of nothing. He's scared of himself. But in the end, and what's awesome is Mark notices, you can tell Mark notices that, look, he's just not in a good place himself. But in the end, he kind of just learns to stop holding himself back and just live. life and just be happy and steal your brother's bike. That's totally how you do it. Steal your brother's motorcycle. And I was just wondering how licenses for motorcycles work. That's like one of the main things I was wondering, because I'm like, does Eddie have a license for that thing? And then his brother took it, and I'm like, does Seeger have a license for that thing? He's 15 years old. How is he riding this motorcycle? So this one is actually going to be a pretty short episode. I want to do some episodes once in a while that are shorter, because I just want you to be able to just, hear about a movie that you might not have seen and you might want to check out and get more of the story and not have me put a bunch of spoilers in there for you. I'm trying to reel back my spoilers. And what's great about this movie, it is just a good heartfelt movie. That's what I like about it. Is it the greatest movie in the world? No, but I feel like it is just very heartfelt. When I checked, I wanted to check to see what people were saying about it, and on Rotten Tomatoes it has a 79% audience score, which I consider pretty good, because that just means there's people who enjoyed it because it was just a film to watch. And yeah, it is a film that you can just watch. Is it a greatest cinematic masterpiece of all time? Probably not, but it was still enjoyable for what it was. I would say 8 out of 10 for me, because at the end of the day, was it, again, like I said, it's not a cinematic masterpiece. I wasn't necessarily expecting a cinematic masterpiece. It was still memorable for some things, but it wasn't memorable for everything. For me, the most memorable parts were Eddie and his dad's arguments over the motorcycle. That to me was the most memorable parts of the movie, which is kind of sad because Seeger is the star. There are scenes that he's in that I did enjoy, like riding around singing "You Are My Sunshine, My Only Sunshine. When you're not happy, my skies are gray." I actually was wondering who picked that song. Who sat there and was like, we need you guys to sing a song. You're going to do "You Are My Sunshine." I was wondering about that. But definitely an 8 out of 10. I say definitely check it out if you can. It is available for rent on YouTube and Amazon. Starting at $1.99 for rental, and I think that's probably like the lower quality rental. I'm sure it's available for purchase and higher quality rentals as well. I would hope so. I would say, this is definitely a teen movie, as far as I'm concerned. It's that coming of age flick. It's a teen movie. I think teenagers will relate to it a lot more. But I do think this is something that parents of teens can sit and watch with their kids as well, if you're the kind of parent of teens that watches movies with gay storylines. But that's not the heart of it. The heart of it is the family dynamic. Let's just make that clear. The heart of this movie is a family dynamic. So I definitely say yes, watch Jungens. I think it's a really good movie. Like I said, it's available for rental on YouTube and on Amazon at $1.99. That's a really good price. $2 to rent a movie. Do it. That's what I say. 8 out of 10 for me for the full movie. Storyline interesting. Some parts definitely very predictable, and some parts I've seen before and I've seen done better. But at the end of the day, I do think it's an entertaining movie. So yeah, that was my review of Jungens. Go check it out. I'm trying to decide what I should do next, because I've already exhausted everything that I had written down as far as I need to review this. So now I'm going through my catalog of Boys Love on everything to see what do I review next. So definitely make sure you send me your titles. Let me know what you're interested in seeing a review for. It could be a movie, a TV show, a novel, a comic. Just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram, or just comment on Instagram. I check those comments, and let me know. I will review it for you. I will definitely love to hear about stuff that maybe I haven't even watched as well, so I can see it. I was thinking of going through the history series, but I don't know if I want to watch every single history series. to review each single one, because there's some that I love, there's some that I just wasn't a huge fan of. So let me know how you would like to do that. If you're a fan of the Chinese boys, oh, it's not Chinese, oh my gosh, it's Taiwanese. The language is Chinese, and that's why I automatically said that, but it's Taiwanese. But yeah, let me know if you do like the Boys Love series, history, what you would like. I know I'm sure a lot of people would like Crossing the Line. I agree. And Trapped, I 100% agree as well. Make Our Days Count, don't expect me to watch that one. I'm sorry. I don't feel like crying. I already know all the spoilers for it. I don't know. I don't know about it. But hey, maybe. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Remember, you can listen on Spotify and on anchor.fm/time4BL. You can also send me messages on my Instagram, which is time4BL. Thank you so much. It is JD Young here signing out from another episode, and I hope next time you and I can make some time for BL. Love you, and have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Bye.